Got it.
All right, so we're recording. I'll just get you guys to mute. Oh, mute, yeah, there you go. Just because otherwise it screws up the recording and then people can't hear it when they're listening back in Scottish, apparently, but I don't know why. Okay, so we're here, Monday, the 5th of February. May is a while away, and this is our monthly group coaching call. And what this is about is to jump on, and for those of you who haven't had a taste of group coaching, to have a taste of group coaching, and for those of you who have, to come and get some more, because you know it's the shizmizbadiz. It's great. And the reason why it's great, I mean, individual coaching, one-on-one coaching, there's a number of you that have had one-on-one coaching with me here, and we'll hopefully jump in the space because there was a whole bunch that said they were coming. I have put a couple of little reminders out. One-on-one coaching is amazing. Of course it is. Group coaching is incredible because we get to listen to other people and what they've got coming up for them. And we might say, oh my God, yeah, that rings true for me. Or, wow, I hadn't thought about myself in that way. And we learn from each other, right? We grow from each other. And there's another reason as well, because when we come into this space and we open our hearts and we're seen and we're vulnerable, we're deepening ourselves into that space, into that key, and it is a key to be able to experience the depth of connection we would love to experience with other people. Yeah, because it takes vulnerability, it takes being seen. And when we hide away, we're doing the opposite, right? And there's big ramifications. I don't use that word very often. I usually say impacts, but here we are, ramifications to hiding ourselves and to closing ourselves up, is that we don't receive the love that we would love to receive, because we're not showing the entirety of who we are, right? We're only showing the parts of ourselves that we believe are okay, that we believe are acceptable, that we believe will get us love, yeah, and the validation, the connection that we desire, that we crave, that we would love to have. And then it doesn't land because it's not loving the entirety of who we are, right? The wholeness of who we are. So it has some pretty big ramifications. And then we walk around feeling unloved, right? I know, Shane, you saw me, my little video this morning where I was sticking stickers on my face and I had "I'm unlovable" right in the middle of my face. And we feel that way, yeah, because we're not receiving love of the wholeness of who we are, because of course we're not loving ourselves for the wholeness of who we are, right? And then we're not letting those parts of ourselves be seen. And this is it's sitting right here for me at the moment, because I've been writing some notes for the preparation that's coming up for the preparation that I'm in for the training that's coming up, kicking off on Thursday. And also because one of the participants of the training and the giveaway was sharing about it in a live video just yesterday, I think it was, about being honest and vulnerable and showing ourselves and not hiding those parts of ourselves that we believe are not okay. So that was my preamble for this morning. Didn't see that coming, but this, we go with what's here. So how's this going to work, right? There's a few of us on the call, which is amazing. So what I would love is for you guys to sit with a question, and this is going to be coming into the structure of these coaching calls, because these groups are going to get bigger. And I know that when we type a question out, we tend to be clearer and to the point and more concise, rather than if we speak it out. So what I would love for you guys to, if you've got something that's going on that you would love to dig into a little bit, just type the essence of it into the chat, and then I'll invite you in to share about it, yeah? So this is the way that we're going to move forward on this. Look at that cat, all up in your face. This is the way that we're going to move forward in these calls, and we are of course going to come into the space and speak, but would love for you to just drop some seeds as a starting point into the chat box, and we'll take it from there. We will get some more, some awareness, some insights. I'm just going to put my chat box up. Where are you? Okay, there it is. Feeling so small, and the thing feels too big. Yeah, that's a great place to start. when we're dehydrated and we need to have a drink of water first, when we're wanting to create different things in our lives, right? When we're wanting to create a different reality, when we're wanting to create a different version of ourselves, when we're working with choices, which we do in this group, we have these visions and these dreams, which we start to tap into, because a lot of the time before we find this work, we're not even close to allowing ourselves to see what we would love. We're so busy fixing the problems and fixing the conditions that we believe need to be sorted before we can even allow ourselves to think what we would like, to consider, to dream about. And and then it feels so big, right, Beck? Yeah. And then we feel so small in it. So now that we've got this piece, tell us a little bit more. So yes, that means taking yourself off mute and tell us a bit more. Like, give us an example of what you're wanting to go for. Yeah. And what are some of the reasons that are coming up that you shouldn't?
There's 101 reasons why I shouldn't, but and I had a meltdown yesterday about some of them, but it's the same old stories that are coming up. So one of my choices is to put myself out there sort of as a healer, and to help others. And it just feels so big, and I feel so small. And like, you take that little step and then you see everyone else, and it's like all the big kids have all the stuff and you don't. and you just feel so small because you have no idea how to do that tech and like, oh my God. And then you meet someone who just comes through and you can tell their experience and you just go,
Yeah. So, a bit of comparisonitis coming in there for sure.
Massive.
Yep.
And then there's, it's almost like you're reaching for it, but like all your bruising and ouches are triggered from the
Yeah.
past.
Yeah. And so what are the biggest thoughts and the biggest feelings that come up?
Well, the biggest feelings is that whole withdrawal, like, just let's go back into our shell. Like, no one's seen us try to step out of our shell, right? I don't have to do this. No one will know that I even had the idea or thought, And even
Your
if I
coach will know. Your coach knows. Sorry.
and the other thing that was coming up for me yesterday is, like, even if I do achieve this, no one's going to care, right? No one's going to care if I do achieve it or not. So
yeah. So what I got immediately was the fraud, the well, they call it the tall poppy. Hey, I don't know if they call it that over there, but who am I to do this? Or other people can do this. But when you said that, what came for me was what's the point?
yeah, what's the point?
What's the point? What's the point in doing it? I'm going to fail. What's the point in doing it? Someone else is doing it better, or and I remember talking about this in relation to my book, because I had, what's the point? There's so many other parenting books out there. What's the point in me writing my one, right? Yeah, what's the point? And it's so destructive. Yeah, it's so destructive because as you say, which you're sharing so clearly, and what you're feeling, you're experiencing, is the talking yourself out of it because there is no point, right? Yeah. And
What were you thinking? And, like, Are you crazy?
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And where's that coming from?
Oh, it's all past stuff, isn't it?
Well,
Yeah, like
it's all ego, right? It's all identity. It's all it's all your ego is throwing you up the smoke screen, right? The illusion, so to keep you safe, right? To keep you in your little shell, to have you go back there, because that's, and it's like we watched The Hobbit the other day, me and my boys, Gollum, come back into the, get safe here, my precious, it's like to come back to what what's safe, what's comfortable, what's familiar, because anything that's out there is dangerous.
oh yeah, and you take that step and you stuff up, everyone's gonna see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so you're here in this work, and and I know that you love this work, and I know that you've done a number of the programs in this work. Are you glad that I got out of my what's the fucking point?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But part of you's also over it because you can see the same stuff just show up, and you just 5 years you're still in the same spot, and it's like this is insane.
Yeah, but are you in the same spot?
No, but it feels like it in some areas because like you just come up against those same barriers, those same walls, and there is that realization of, oh, that's what happened last time. It wasn't that, blah blah blah. It was just my ego going here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you think if you have an expectation that those walls shouldn't be there anymore, and that those, the same stuff shouldn't come up anymore, that it's
No,
going to stop you?
I think it's going to be there, but it's just like recognizing when it is, and where you allow yourself to be, whether
Mhm.
you stay in it, whether you recognize it, and whether you choose a different action, and
Yeah.
whether you just go do it anyway.
Yeah, and whether you give it the power, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. And how you are defining it. And that's what I meant when I said that it, coming up against the same walls, right? Because the same shit's going to come up
You'll be
over and
driving
over and
along
over.
and it will just stop.
Just mute Mr. Aaron. The same stuff is going to come up over and over, right? Other little versions of it. It's going to come up slightly differently, right? Because the ego has to get fucking tricky. Yeah, it has to get smart because you're getting smarter to what the ego is throwing up at you, right? It used to be a complete smokescreen that completely oblivious to it, and now it's like, shit, man, she's getting smart. She's on my tail. I've got to get clever. I've got to show a slightly different version, or I've got to come in from a slightly different angle.
Or I've got to throw more up at once.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like, how do I get her to listen? Right. And this is the thing, when we start to create, when we start to step outside of that zone of safety, the ego gets louder. Right? It starts to throw more shit up. And then if we're making that wrong, if we're judging that it shouldn't be happening, then we fold in even more. Because it's like, oh, I must be doing it wrong because shit, the noise is getting louder. The shit that's coming my way is more. It's harder to handle. It's like, yes, because you're creating. It's like you're stepping out in the face of the ego, even though the ego's throwing its, but you need to look at this. It's not safe. You need to take care of this. You need to listen to me. So what do you do?
Well, I ate ice cream last night.
Ice cream's great, right? Awesome. As long as you don't make it bad. As long as you don't sit in a judgment, I mean, I've sit there and eaten ice cream and I'm judging the ice cream as I'm eating it, man. And like, no, and then I'm eating all that judgment as well. And it's like, okay, I'm eating ice cream. Yeah. And this is why we have bridges, right? This is why we have an action step from that place of ego chucking shit at us. Yeah, who do you think you are? What's the point? No one's going to listen. yeah, all of that. And then we have a step that we take that takes us where?
Well, towards our heart and what we're trying to create.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, I know that I spoke about this on the last call. But where are you spending most of your time? Listening to that cacophony of ego bullshit, or sitting in your vision? Yeah. And what was that?
We spend a lot of time trying to resolve that noise, don't we? A lot of
Yeah.
energy, a lot of
Yeah. And the thing is, you don't need to resolve it. You don't need to fix it. You don't need to make it go away, right? And the more you try, the louder it's going to get, right? It's the I think we did this exercise on the last call. The what we resist persists, right? We resist it, we give it power, and it just gets bigger. It just grows. The problem just grows. The noise gets louder, the voices, the suggestions of what we should be doing. Just come back into your hole, it's safe, right? They get louder. Yeah. The more we shift our focus into a different direction, it takes the power out of the voices, and the voices soften. They're still there. Don't get me wrong, they're still there. Yeah, I'd be lying to you if I didn't say that the voice still comes up every time I go to put something out or do something, or it's still, and I'm like, yeah, okay. I hear you. I hear you. I see you. It's like, imagining that you've got the devil on your shoulder, right? And the angel on the other one. And I'm saying to the devil, I'm going, yeah, cool. I hear you. I know you're telling me that this is not safe and that I could get torn down and that I could get rejected or I could get slammed. Someone could disagree with me. Yeah. And I'm saying, I'm listening to this. I'm listening to this one over here. This is the way I'm going. Can you speak up, please? Right. Well, that's what we want. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get the vision to speak louder, but we can't if we keep giving all the power to the devil on the shoulder, right? To the other direction. We are feeding it. Right? Which wolf do you feed, right? You've heard of that little story, yeah? Which wolf are you feeding? Every single moment of every single day, some thought comes up and you're going, okay, I got a choice here. Which am I going to feed that? Or am I going to notice it, acknowledge it, because we're not ignoring that stuff. This is the vulnerability piece, right? And there's a video in the giveaway group, and I know you're part of the giveaway, so go and find it. It's in the guides. If you get, there's a vulnerability section, have a listen, because when we ignore it and we try, no, that doesn't exist, right? Then we make moves that are just trying to get away from. We're actually still giving it power. Yeah, when we say, yeah, okay, I hear you that you don't think it's safe to do this, to the ego, right? And then we shift our direction. This is what I want. Yeah, I'm gonna get in here and I'm gonna do this Facebook Live. Yeah, I know you're telling me it's not safe, and I'm gonna do it, right? Yeah, and you do the thing. And the more you do the thing, the louder that voice is going to get, the vision, the dream, the hopes. Yeah. The more you do it, the more you sit in it, the more you follow that action in spite of the noise of the ego. Yeah. And Beck, it's a practice. We show up to this every single day. It's the battle of evermore, right? We keep going, yeah, because the ego will keep trying to keep us safe and doing its job. It's not bad. It's doing a great job at doing what it needs to do. We just want to shift the power into another orientation, another direction. And the more we do that, the more orientated we become. Yeah. And that means engaging your will. You've got to make a commitment to sit in your vision, right? And do your choices and, do these habits that help you, yeah, to stay in that orientation. Yeah. which I know you're doing, right? Yeah. And you know, I know that when I was at the beginning of this work, and I was like, well, what do I need to do here? Because I want to give you something that, you know, that you can do, something really tangible. And I started like dropping in, and I've shared this with Shane, dropping into my alarms on my phone, and I'd just have one going off on the hour, and I'd sit in the vision of whatever it is that I've got going on, that I want to do, that I'm terrified of, that, you know, that I'm stuck. And I'll just sit in the vision of that. Yeah. And then I'll ring a friend, you know, later in the day, and I'll say, hey, guess what? I want to tell you about my vision. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And you tell them about it, and it makes it real because you're bringing it to you through your vibrational generator, right? And you're speaking it out. Yeah. So I know that stuff is coming up. And it's never going to stop, right? You're never going to create the big thing by stopping yourself feeling small first. Yeah, you go and create the big thing even though you feel small. Yeah, because if we wait to feel bigger, yeah, before we go and do it, it's never going to happen. But doing it helps us feel bigger, right? It makes us feel empowered. Yeah. And the vision, sitting in the vision, will bring that energy to us. Yeah. It's like, wow, if I created this big thing, how would I feel? Like, what is the energy that is in my body? How would I hold myself? Right? If I actually created this thing, how would I hold myself? What habits would I do? How would I carry myself through my day? How would I show up to this live that I'm going to do? Yeah, if I was focused on that, where I want to get to rather than where I don't, and then I bring that energy. Because if you wait for it, it might not ever come. Yeah.
Or you put it back on the shelf and forget about it, right?
Totally.
And who wants to do that?
Well, that's not what we're here for, right? We've done that already, sister, right? For years.
Doesn't work, does it?
Enough, right? Yeah. Awesome. So what are you going to do?
Yeah, just allow the tension to be there, feed the vision, connect with the vision more. Yeah, just know that there are, like, each step I take in this direction, there are going to be uncomfortable thoughts and feelings, and it's not that I'm doing anything wrong, it's just that I'm charting new territory and it's scary.
Yep. And it's not that there are going to be uncomfortable thoughts and feelings. There's going to be more. There's going to be more. But do you know what? The great thing about that there's going to be more is that you can take that as a holy shit, man, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Right? I'm not going back into my little safe cave, right? I'm doing it because the shit's getting real. Yeah, you know you're creating. Yeah, most people don't have that because they're staying safe, they're staying small. Yeah, it's going off because you are stepping outside. Yeah. So action step as in, yep, I'm going to set my alarm for every hour and I'm going to sit in the vision of this choice, and yeah, like really give yourself something tangible, because otherwise it can be, oh yeah, I talked about that on the coaching call at 11:28, and then I just went back into my shit, right? Yeah. Cool. All right, so Janie, let's have a look at what you got. Stoking the inner engine when desiring to start a new business feels hard as an elder. My imagination is lagging. Yeah, I hear you. It's like different energy levels, right? I can't do what I could do 10 years ago, you know? And I mean, I'm a manifesting generator, man. I got energy, right? And one of the things that I've learned just about, because that came human design, one of the things that I learned about my makeup, about the way that I operate, is that I only put energy into things that really light me up, that really, really light me up, that I'm a full fuck yes to. Otherwise, I say no. You know, like somebody sent me a message, Charlie, you'll know, Erica sent me a message the night before our Sunday dance that we go to, and she said, can you come and help out at Sunday dance? And I said, no. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to support, and you know, and I'm like, no, I'm a no to that, because I've got I want to feed my energy into what I'm feeding my energy into, right? Does it light you up? And that's where you put your energy, because it's not that your imagination is lagging. It's because I know that you are a powerful being, and I know you're incredibly intuitive, but where are you putting your energy, and where is it leaking? Where is it leaking away from you? You remember that Neil Donald Walsh quote, 98% of the energy we use as humans is a complete waste of time. Because we use it, like, just for, you know, just to pick on Beck, because I love it a bit, you know, we use it on all of that other shit, right? All of that stuff's going through our heads, and we're entertaining it, and we're indulging it, we're allowing it, right? Rather than going, yeah, okay, I get it, I know that story, I've heard that story for my whole fucking life, I know it, I don't need to go down that road, I don't need to indulge it, I don't need to give it any airtime. Yeah. So what are the things, Janie, that you think you might be giving airtime to that you don't need to be giving airtime to, right? What's sapping your energy?
I think I mean, I'm pretty aware of most of my shit. But I'm also quite good at creating new shit too. So sometimes the creative energy leaks into that. It's just the shit stuff. But I think it's just been a journey, and I'm probably just being quite hard on myself by saying, what I've just said too. Working, I think when I retired from, the job and my own work, and I was doing 4 income streams just to pay rent. Yeah. And then it was COVID as well. So we had that, big event. And there was all that divisive stuff and all that kind of, quite traumatic, really. And I think I'm still just sort of breathing, coming out of that. And it wasn't till I left the job and left my house and packed up and downsized and did all that, and I took off to Australia in the middle of a pandemic to spend 6 months near my family, near my son and grandchildren, and house sat, and it was quite a crazy thing to do, which is very typical of me. I do big moves sometimes. And then I came back, and I thought, right, now it's time to start manifesting what I really want to do, my own stuff, which I've always done, but I've had to supplement with working for the man, so to speak. And then sort of comes this realization that the 6 months away was my sabbatical, and I've never had one in my life. I've never not worked. I've had maybe 6 weeks off. So 14 to 65, hard slog. Lots of other things in the picture. And so I think I've been doing a lot of reflection and loving downtime. I've actually loved slowing down. I've just absolutely really enjoyed it. But now I've kind of got into patterns of, well, some people would call it laziness, but I just call it perhaps more a lack of discipline to asserting I like to call it the will thing. I like to call it dynamic volition.
Yeah.
So my dynamic volition is not very dynamic at the moment. Let's put it that way. It's feeling like I love not having to get crack on the whip, until 11 in the morning. I don't ever want to be up at sparrow's fart, having to, wield the scythe, against the weeds continually. Just that struggle energy. Don't want to do it anymore. Never want to do it ever again. and I love it.
And how's that messing with your
Well,
your
this is a whole big,
your old
huge
stuff?
amount of shit going with it, because I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, so I've got to find a way, and I think I will, but it feels very slow. It just feels very slow, but that's what I want as well. I don't want to get frantic and pushing and striving, and so I think I haven't found my balance with the new way, because I've had to, and I've been a single, a lot of my life, and the marriage was disabled husband, so there was a lot of service, massive amounts of service, and then I chose service as my work as well, and I think I'm wanting some service to come to me, and there's an interesting thing, and it's about being an elder, and there's a whole thing about elderhood in our culture and invisibility, and there's all sorts of fascinating stuff, and I get all distracted by it. And I keep going off on tangents, but it's all right. I think I'm pulling the threads in. It's just weaving, and it's weaving slow. So I'm probably, by asking that question, I'm answering it myself already by acknowledging that, it'll take as long as it takes. But I think my discipline is definitely, too much scrolling, too much avoidance. I'm just starting to crack on now that I've come back from having a breakaway. And so it's really good to come on the call and be in your energy again. And, other people's energy, that we're all on the same page, and we're all, wanting to, but yeah, starting a business at this age, 68, is, it's a challenge. Like, I wish I was better on the technology, I do my own website because I've got all the vision. But, it's that passing the buck on, having to pay people, and I want to do it myself, and then I get frustrated, and then I walk away from it, and all that shit.
Yeah, and having to do it, or being invited to do it in a different way. Yeah. Because I know
that. I'm quite enjoying it, to be honest, but it's, I can feel that pressure coming in.
Yeah, I know that pressure very well. It's the testing pressure, right? It's the hustle pressure, it's the push, it's the force, it's the gotta get shit done pressure. And your being is telling you, no, I'm not going to do it like that anymore.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a mystic. That's my natural being now. And how do we put the mystic? I mean, there's lots of people doing all sorts of mystical things online, and all this hoo-ha. Yeah. I think it's about authenticity.
It is. Yeah. And this is, in line with what Beck was talking about as well, what it was sharing. It's like, man, we bring ourselves, and that's what the point is, right? When we bring our authenticity, our vulnerability, our truth, our gifts, our talents, our experience, right? That's what people want, because we've all had these unique journeys. As long as we can get out of our own way to be able to share that in a way that is authentic to us. And what that looks like doesn't matter, as long as it's you.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as it's you. Yeah. I mean, one question for you: how are you working with current vision, right? Are you working with current choices? Are you still excited by what you're doing, right? Do you still have that childlike excitement? Because I know for me, as I've shifted and moved into the creative orientation, but also into creating more, the energy's got stale, and to move and to make sure that what I'm working with is current and lighting me up and bringing me alive. And sometimes when we do lose that sort of and we're getting a bit it's because we don't have that anymore, right? It's like we need to wait for the new to come through and then be intentional about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's this huge theme, of course. My big theme is the birth, death, and rebirth cycle, and getting out the death doula stuff, which that lights me up more than anything at the moment. I'm loving all my connections with other people in New Zealand and overseas about all that. So that's probably the area that's lighting me up, but it's maybe not going to be, or I mustn't limit myself, the big earner. You know, a lot of that is on, you know, it's personal, and I'm living in a tiny little, you know, the Riviera of Antarctica, otherwise known as Dunedin. So, you know, they're not bashing my door down to get, you know, because this is a new field in New Zealand. It's very new. But I am loving all that. So I think I'm working passionately a bit more around that. And I've got some new work coming in about the crone, which is fascinating, but it hasn't fully landed yet. So I am passionate about things. I think it is true what I said, that you know, that inner fire, as you just were mentioning, you know, that lights you up. There's a shift, you know, into, yes, I still got my innocence in there operating, but part of me just wants to sit on the front porch and let them come to me. It's an elderhood hat that's landed really on my head. But as we've been talking, so that's why it's wonderful to come on calls, and thank you for the offer to come on. I've written down podcasts, musings from the front porch.
Beautiful.
So that's just from coming on this call.
Yeah. Because this is the magic, right?
Yeah.
Because people do come when we.
So I have, I was going to call my on my website, my blog page, Musings from the Front Porch.
Yeah.
But
I love it.
you know, I'm thinking I've already just added podcasts there. So because I'm already finding coming on so valuable. So
Yeah. And you know, podcasts are great because and you don't have to have all of the tech there. You don't have to have all of the stuff there yet. You know, you just start doing it. That's all. And then you're just having conversations, right?
Yeah.
You know? It's like I was listening to Russell Brunson, the ClickFunnels guy. He got guidance, right, to start a podcast. The only time he had was his 10-minute drive from home to work. So he started doing these 10-minute podcasts, you know, every day, 10 minutes.
Wow.
You know, and now he asks people, how'd you find me, right? How did you end up coming and working with me one-on-one, or working with, you know, buying my whatever? And they all say, I listen to your podcast. Right? It all traces back to his podcast, 10 minutes a day in his car. That's how he started, right? There's no barrier there. But I'd also watch, Janie, because I think you've got some good stuff already. I'd also watch your definition and your languaging around, well, that's not going to be a high earner, right? Okay, well, there's a limitation right there.
I know, and I know that. And I've kept myself on that, but it's that's my side where I'm not saying but probably the hands-on in Dunedin. I'm just saying that part of
right.
Okay, but not broader
globally. Yeah.
But yeah, it's that. I mean, I'm on the doula, you know, Zooms once a month, and you know, all that, and we all share, and it's
awesome.
It's a growing, but you know, people don't even know what that is.
No. Yeah, so we can educate them through your podcast, right?
I've done talks around Dunedin already. Don't worry, I'm not sitting on the backside. But
no, I know.
Yeah. It's and I love that, because that, you know, I love educating. I love getting good stuff out there.
Beautiful.
But yeah. I mean, I'd love to be helping someone die. And that sounds really weird, doesn't it? Though.
No, I get it.
Yeah. And talking about death all the time, and then I see people's eyes glazing and people running away as soon as I start. So I'm going to start a death salon.
Yeah, awesome.
There's death cafes, but they have rules.
Yep.
Yeah, well, you know, fuck rules. I'm not into that.
We're here to break the rules, right, Janie?
Oh, yeah, I want to have fun, and you know, if you speak, because there's all these rules with death cafes. You can't have this, and you can't do that, and I want to have some, you know, dress ups, and it's all come as your favorite death goddess or whatever theme.
Love it.
So yeah, there's lots of stuff on the back burner. It's just, I feel it's just slow.
Yeah.
So I'm just here to get my juices pumped up a bit, and remember to all the tools that I've learned from doing your work, Jacqueline. Doing the work, you know, the Williams work.
Yeah. I get it. I mean, I get the like definition or uncomfortability of the slow, Like before that level 1 program came in, I waited 3 months for that, right? I got the guidance to drop everything, and I'm like, okay, whenever you're ready, right? It took 3 months.
Yeah, I know.
3
That's
months,
what I
and I
mean.
was just like, okay, and that wasn't the most uncomfortable 3 months, right? If I was going to define it and label it and judge it as bad, right? Is like, yeah, I was sitting in the tension of that because I was like, man, I have no idea what I'm doing, what this looks like, where it's heading. I just got told to drop everything and receive, right? So you roll, what's next? So yeah, I get it. Yeah. So sit in the
And it is, it's
tension.
that creative tension, and it's just, yeah, it's and I've got the age thing, which like I've been saying, one side of it is like feels pressure because I don't have as much time ahead of me, literally.
Yeah.
Praise be, I live long, and I probably will. And that's not to say I can't achieve an enormous amount in the next 10 years or whatever.
Yeah.
But then there's also that beauty of being an elder and having that endurance, because you've learned a thing or two.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
know that, you've got to pace and don't dash at it and, burn yourself out.
Yeah, you're here to transmit that. Have you read the time ebook or seen any of the content around time that I've put out?
I don't think so.
Okay, I'll get that to you
Thank you so
because
much.
that ebook it's powerful to bring you into the present moment, right? Because we're always, I don't have time, or I've got all this to do, and and then we're never here, right? And when we can be here, then we're just dealing with what's here today. What's here today? What do I need to do today, right? Yeah, we still have our vision. We still have what we would love to create, and we dip into that, and we connect with that, and then we come back here. What's here today? What's here today? Because otherwise, we're in between, and we're trying to figure it out, and we get lost, and we get stressed and overwhelmed, and not enough time, and all of that stuff starts coming up. So it's a really good resource for that.
Excellent. Thank you for that. I appreciate it very much.
I'll get you that. Okay. Cool, Janie. Great to see you, love. It's great to have you on the call.
See you too, darling.
All right. So, Shane, how do I consciously use my choices? I've had a few wins and that align with them, but still feels fluky. They'll live evermore. You start from experience. Was that a comment just when I was talking? I think perhaps. Fluky. Okay. So let's have a look at the definition of fluky, Shane. How could you change that definition to something that's more empowered?
Synchronicity, man.
Wow, how about, man, I created some magic, right?
Yeah.
Check out that fucking magic I created, right? This is the ownership of it. Do you remember, I'm sure I've told you the story about my car and how I ended up with a new car, right? It's like I could say that was a fluke. Oh yeah, that was a fluke. That was a coincidence, right? I'm like, no, it wasn't, man. I created that shit. I took steps towards that. I would never have known that it was going to come that way, that it was going to arrive that way. Right. And some of you won't know this story. I needed a new car. A friend of mine said, will you go to the car yard and you start driving, test driving cars, and you put the energy out to the universe that you want a new car. Right. And I said, but I can't afford it. And, she gave me a love slap because she was like, what are you doing this work, aren't you? What, like this? And, this was before I had my coach, I was pretty new to the work, and I went and I started test driving cars. And then 3 days later, didn't get the cars, right? The guy was saying, okay, come into the office and talk. And my boys are going, let's get this one, Mom. And I'm like, right. But I was there, I was in the cars, I was driving them. I was like, yeah, this is cool. And then 3 days later, my stepdad rings me and says, we're buying a new hybrid. We're gifting you our car. I'm like, what? Really? Yeah, that's the magic. Yeah, am I going to own that shit? Yes, I am. I'm not going to say it was fluky. I created that. You created these wins, Shane. You did. No one else. right? I didn't come into your universe and say, "Oh, just give him a little help, right? I'm his coach. I'll just make this one happen for him, right? And give him my magic wand." No, it was you.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool one actually. It was one of
Good.
those like selfish, selfless things. It was because we're meant to have a big doof in the dome here out on the field. Um, where I live, we've got a giant fucking geodesic dome, and we're gonna have a dance party in there, and it got cancelled. And I think it was got to about 12:30, 1 o'clock that afternoon. I'm like just feeling pretty bleh, you know. And I said to myself, like, fuck, you got a choice here. You're gonna go and do what you normally do, lie down and fucking try to think my way out of it. Or you're just gonna fucking say no and change it and go and put some energy into something creative. And like I was knackered. I felt like shit. And so I just took an action. I had to get some accountability around it. I put a messenger out on our group chat thing here and just said, fuck, whoever's keen, come and put a couple of hours in. Let's turn this space around and create something for the night. You know, drop this whole static dances, like just turn up with a speaker and a fucking playlist, whatever. And it was cool. And I just started doing it. And then a bunch of people turned up. We created this wicked energy. Fuck, by the end of the night, man, we had a DJ down there, like with big speaker stacks and colored lights, and fucking like probably 20 odd people turned up. We had chide running, and it was fucking epic. And and you know, even through that, I was still in holding shit and doubt and all of that, but I wasn't feeding it. You know, it was what you were talking about before. It's like there's two fucking wolves. Which one am I going to feed today? And I had to powerfully choose, reorientate, and to do something like that. That's the selfish part, but the beautiful selflessness is it brought the whole community together. You know, we had this fucking awesome time where because the whole people would come back from the South Island, and it was like a homecoming that wouldn't have happened otherwise. And it was epic. And now because we've activated that space down in the temple this week, now everybody's come back, and it's like there's exercise programs. So like 3 mornings a week now. It goes from 8 to 9. And I could be in a victim and be like, oh, fuck, there's going to be noise outside. I want to sleep in the morning. Or, well, let's get on board. There's accountability. Right. We're fucking exercising every morning now. It's just, yeah. And I've put my name forward. So tomorrow night I'm taking a yoga class for an hour and 15 minutes. I got no fucking idea what I'm going to do or how I'm going to do it. I just put down beginner's Ashtanga on a Tuesday. I fucking learn when they learn.
This is it. This is it. What, not how, right? What do you want to do? I want to step up and do a yoga class. Do I know how to do it? No. Yeah, that'll come.
What's the worst that'll happen, you know? At the end of it, it's going to push me. It's going to keep me moving forward. And it just aligns with a lot of the things in my choices about keeping fit, mind, body, and soul. Yeah, towards leading and holding space.
Mhm.
And getting away from the perfection of whatever that grand vision is, and just fucking working with what I have that's here now, and going, whatever this is, it might not be that, but it's a path to that. It's getting comfortable, at least, you know, holding that space. Yeah, for me, being comfortable and remaining in my center in bringing that energy and those people in there, and just staying fucking grounded. I can have that running, but I'm here, and it's practice. It's just practice.
Mhm. Mhm. Yep. I mean, what we were talking about with Beck, you know, these two orientations, that we have this shit going on. We have the ego speaking to us loudly, and we have what we would love, what we really want to do, right? And our perception is filtered every single moment of every single day through either one of those orientations. Yeah. And we continue to feed either one. And for the majority of us, we've been feeding that one over there for our entire lives. And that groove is pretty well worn, right? Energy follows the path of least resistance. It does. Right, that's where we've always been going. That's where our focus has been going, our attention. Yeah, and every move that we're going to make in this new orientation is to look the other way. Yeah, and that's why we celebrate the fuck out of our wins. I don't care how small they are. You celebrate them, and that's why I was like, "This is you, Shane," and you go, "Oh my god, I did that thing, whatever it was." Right. And the example that's coming for me when I was starting to change my orientation, because there's a part of our brain, right, called the RAS, which some of you will know about, the reticular activating system. It focuses on what we've previously made important. And if we're previously making a whole bunch of negative shit important, then that's what we're going to keep seeing. Right. And all I saw was my husband's shitty behavior, what he wasn't doing, what he could, and my kids. And I had to focus like a boss on what they were doing well, like really focus. And we have to do that for ourselves as well. Right. Because you're going to slowly reset your RAS, and then you're going to see more of it, and then you're going to be able to celebrate more of it, right? And that's why, even if you have to write that shit down in the book, oh my God, this is what I did today, and I'm celebrating that, and I'm going to ring and tell a friend, and I'm going to get on live, and I'm going to talk about it, whatever it is, but you celebrate it, because this is going to help you change your focus into that orientation, right? Everything that you do. And, just one thing you said about being selfish, right? You have to put yourself first before you can serve others. Right? You have to put yourself first. Yeah, especially if you're like a lot of people out there, they're continually bypassing themselves to serve others, right? Because they're testing their worth, they're trying to be good enough, right? Trying to be significant. All the beliefs are trying to be resolved. Yeah, gotta serve yourself first, so that then you can serve others. Yeah, because then you overflow out in service. It's not the other way around.
Yeah, that sort of discernment that you're talking about before, like really knowing what you're a fuck used to, allows, like, I love that, because it allows me the energy to do service in a different way. And then when I show up in that, like, I'm actually doing it for myself. I'm like, fuck, I really, like, man, I get a buzz out of being in service. But when it's in that fuck yes, if I'm just leaking and fucking doing this and all that, people pleasing, then, but really, really learning the just how to discern between the two of those within this program. And I still fuck it up now and again, but I'm getting better at it. And at saying no. And then it means my yes is so much more powerful, because it's coming from a place that's nourishing for self.
Yep. We've got to learn how to say no. We've got to learn how to say no powerfully, right? Because that leads us to our yeses. It's not the other way around. We don't become yes people and learn how to say no. We become no people and learn how to say yes, right? We've got to learn how to say no. And no, my beautiful wolfie friends, is a fucking full sentence, right? No, I'm just a no to that. Right? Because of this and because of that and because of, and right? No, just I'm a no. Yeah. And that will lead you to your yeses. Yeah. And you find it like just practice on little things. Like I went through my wardrobe. I'm like, does this light me up? Does this piece of clothing light? And I'm like, no, it's gone. Right. My wardrobe's gotten really small. But that's okay, because everything in there is like, yeah, I'm gonna love that. I can't wait to put you on, right? Before it was full of, yeah. Okay, it's a good example. So find these things to practice with, to find what really lights you up, so that you're a full fuck yes to it. Yeah.
Yeah, because here, like every fucking single day, there's so many potential things to be a yes to, and I really had to hone that back, because we talk about exciting things, and it's like, oh, I'd love to get involved in that. I'm like, fuck, I've got 3 things at the moment that I've signed up for that light me up. And it's like, I will complete these. Otherwise, anything else, I'm just a no to.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't, it's not out of alignment with me. It's just, if I've got too much on my plate, that's it. Nothing gets done. It's all fluff. And I can't put energy into these things that lit me up in the first way.
Yep.
Complete. And there's space, there's space.
Yeah, because we get lost otherwise. We get lost in what we're doing, and we get taken off the path that we're on, right? Because we get distracted by other people, relationships, stuff, other people's dreams and visions, which I know you and I have talked about before, Shane. And we lose our focus, right, on the path. Yeah. And we want to, so we want to know where we're coming from, and we want to know that these things they light us up, and they're taking us towards where we want to go. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. All right. So, Moni, I'm moving on to your question. Thanks, Shane. It was awesome. I'm really struggling with myself. I see a crossroads in front of me that I've stood at before. One way is towards creating, towards horses. Awesome. I've even started some paint and sip. Oh, yes, I remember your paint and sip parties. Last time I was at this crossroads and looking at illustrating some children's books. Awesome. Last time I opted for a full-time job in an industry I've never been in. I became really good at it, but it was way too much. There was no time for life. Yeah, and there's 4 children and a grandson. Whoo, go you. Couldn't create. Now I'm not working, so I have the choice again. I've been offered a part-time job, okay, but I'm not sure if it's right. I'm only drawn to it because of my childhood, going without food. Okay. Is my choice being colored by my fear of not being able to provide for working for someone else guaranteed? Okay, so this is just one of my yep, okay, cool. There's another in your marriage. Yeah, okay, cool. I get it. So what I'm hearing is that, it's like, do I go all in on like the horses and the vision and the dream but shit, I got to still put food on the table and feed my kids and like live and pay the bills and it's a choice that we come to for a lot of us in terms of creators, in terms of want to break out and do something different. And there's 2 kinds of people. There's 2 kinds of people, and it depends how you deal with tension, right? It depends how you're able to hold yourself in that tension. Either you chuck it all in and you go full bore on the dream, right? This is what I want to do. This is what I did, by the way. And it's, there's a lot of tension that comes up, and it becomes it's a flip in the question from, will this work, to shit, I got to make this work.
Yeah.
This is going to work. Yeah. And if you're not because, where's my, I normally have a hair tie, right? I normally have a hair tie that I have a piece of elastic, like this. Yeah, like that. Yeah. We want to stretch that. Yeah. We want to stretch it. We don't want to fucking snap it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't want to put ourselves under so much financial stress, because this is what we talk about, that we snap and that we are, because the thing is that when you do that, you're not bringing good energy.
No.
Right? You're bringing stressful, financial fear. You're bringing all of that, and then you're trying to put it out into this new thing, and it's just not. Right? I've done it. It's shit. Your energy is not great. So on the other side of that, it's like, but now I have to go and get a job, right? And I have to do the thing that I don't really want to do, and I'm not really aligned to it. And it's like, but when we change,
it's actually something I really enjoy. I got into optical dispensing, so I get to use my creativity to help people pick the glasses that will suit them and fitting their prescriptions and all that sort of stuff. That I really enjoy, but it was, I don't know, I feel like the other part of me dies when I'm too far into the other side.
Yeah.
Like before I was in this full job, I was taking my 2 youngest horse riding once a week. And for me, horses it's freedom. It's like they're just such an incredible being. To me, riding is freedom. It's where my feels most at home. And then art is, I believe everybody can get something from creating. So the paint parties would like to help people find that in themselves as a release or and encouragement. And my friend and I in North America started an art sort of to help people live authentically and find authentic selves.
Can't hear you so well, Money.
My husband.
Yeah, you're breaking up. Kind of. I'm losing every third word.
Okay. So I'm kind of feel like I've got to do it on my own because it's not something that my husband would support me in, which also feels frustrating because I'm one of the people who, I want to do that next. Okay. Behind you. So it makes it tricky.
Yeah. I didn't catch all of that, but what I did catch, the gist of what I'm getting is that your creativity and your truth and everything that you'd love to be doing is in a different direction from your optical work, even though you love it and even though you're damn good at it, right? But before you had a full-time job, now you've been offered a part-time job, but questioning the part-time job, should I sort of go all in on this? Yeah.
Because I really think that I can work and I make people's life better with what I can give.
Yeah, which is beautiful. And if you can see that as a means to an end that's going to get you closer, and be able to still take the financial pressure off, still, feed your family, still pay the bills, and see that it's a means to an end. And it's a pretty good one. It's not like you're selling your soul, right?
Ultimately, it would be owning property where I could do arts retreats, self-help retreats and things like that, where I had different sort of property and things like that for people to rent out and could claim it all back tax because it's in their employment sort of stuff. And something like that eventually. But my road there is what I'm struggling with at the moment.
I would find
it wouldn't be devastating if I didn't the part-time job. In Australia, we have Centrelink, which family tax benefit for the kids, stuff like that. And my mortgage is only $350 a fortnight, so it's not like death. I need to get a job. And my husband's working as a security guard, so he's bringing in some income as well, which is supplemented whatever Centrelink or well payments.
Yeah.
So it's something that I could do. I don't know if I have the belief in myself behind to do it. If the people in very close are going to say, "Why are you doing this?" Like, I don't want to have to find my heart, if that makes sense.
I can't hear you, Money.
Oh,
maybe I'll tell you what. Maybe just type in a little bit more, just to add to the bit that you've come to. If I don't tap it off here, because what I'm hearing is that if you, and this is just kind of the tangible, practical things, but do type something in if I'm not getting it. That if you just take care of what needs to be taken care of with the bills, as long as your job, even though you love it, isn't taking you away, isn't taking all of your energy so that you can start building this other thing, then it's all good. It's all good, right? It's not coming from fear. It's just like, well, I got to take care of the practicalities of life and still have energy, to put into this new thing that I want to create. Yeah. As long as one isn't taking you away from the other, because that's what happens. Yeah. We end up working full time and we're trying to get this dream on the side, up. We got no juice left.
There's no energy. Yeah.
We've got nothing left, man. So it's like it's the two extremes there, right? Going all in on it, but having crappy energy because we're still not making the money that we need to.
Yeah.
Or we've got the full-time job, but we haven't got any energy left to put into. So we want to find that sweet spot where things are covered. Yeah, we're not making it bad or wrong that we've got a job. Yeah, and we're using it as a means to an end to get to where we want to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let me know if there's anything else. Just type it in if there's anything else that I missed with that.
Thank you.
All right, lovely. It's a pleasure. Okay, so what else have we got? Sarah, better late than never. Mum life. Yeah, I get it. An opportunity to market and get this going. 3 months. Oh yeah. Okay, these are I need to do that in your wardrobe. Yep. Do you have to own the land first? What were you talking about there, Shane? Do you have to own the land first?
Oh, it was just an idea. It's like, if you're running creative art spaces, are there places that you can go and just say, fuck, can we use your land or pay a portion or something like that? Getting out of that, fuck, I can't do it until I've got this. I can't do it until that.
Yeah. And as Janie has said, if you turn your video off, it could improve the audio if you wanna speak to that. Moni? Because you
Is this better? Does that
Yep.
work better?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, yeah. Speaking to what Shane said, I do actually have some really beautiful places that I've got that I already have access to, that I can run paint and sip parties and things like that. My eventual property that I would want would be for like artist retreats and self-help retreats and like yoga retreats and things like that. So they'd come for a weekend, do their thing. We'd cater all of their meals. I'd probably have the kitchen running as a training space so that there's people training in there as well as creating the meals for everybody that needs them for whatever retreats or anything like that. But yeah, I don't need the land to be able to run the paint and sip parties. I've already got some really good venues that are. One of them is a spiritual wellness place that's literally just down the road. Another one is a dog members club, and they want to do like a paint your own pet sort of thing eventually, but I'm allowed to use their space whenever I like, and they've got very minimal fees for me. So that sort of stuff I can start doing straight away. I just need to generate the interest.
Yep. And then you got to have energy to put into that, right?
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
So if you take care of the costs of living, just cover over those. You might not have a hell of a lot of extra, but what you've got extra is your energy, right, and your time.
Yes, absolutely, and that's the thing that I need to be able to do anything.
Yeah. The other stuff will come. Yeah, the other stuff will come because the most important thing is your energy, right? That what you are bringing out and putting into it is the most important thing because that's what's going to attract the interest.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Does anybody else? Thanks, Moni, and that worked so much better. So I could have Janie next time just sing out, take yourself off mute, and say, "Hey, sister, just turn your video off." Yeah,
absolutely.
that works so much better. Okay, so does anybody else have a question? I'm going to let you guys sit for a minute while I take myself off for a quick pee. Then I don't have to sit for 20 minutes and keep my legs crossed. But just if you guys got anything else that's sitting there, anything else that you'd love a little bit of guidance around, and we'll use that for the rest of the call. I'll be back.
Hey, Lisa, how you going? How's the studio?
I'm good. Thank you very much. I'm good. Just thinking
Working.
I could sneak in for half an hour between clients.
Good on you. Yeah.
And
Nice
you
to
are
see
well?
you. Yeah, good as gold. Yep.
Excellent.
Nice to see you.
Hey, can I jump in just I was late and if it's not been covered, but I caught a bit of the like managing all of the things, you know, like when you're trying to switch off, focus on one task and not get distracted. Basically, how do you focus on the bites of the elephant rather than trying to eat the whole elephant in one mouthful?
Eat the elephant. I love it. Yeah, this is it, right? We've got to be where we are, you know. Got to be where we are. And a lot of the time, when we start to become more aware of what's driving us, of what's sitting under the surface, and those 12 core beliefs that you'll now have, Sarah, have you found your way to those?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure yet. I think I'm working my way through bits whilst folding, washing, and doing dishes and
I'll
yeah.
send it to you. I'll send it to you. I'll
Oh,
send you.
thank you.
It's a document that's in your training pack for signing
Oh,
up
yeah.
for the giveaway. So
Oh, yeah.
I'll get
Cool.
that to you. But the beliefs are what drives us, right? And the not good enough belief is the one that means we struggle to be in the present moment. We're always trying to be somewhere else, right? I got to eat the whole fucking elephant, right? And you haven't even got the little bit of the tail in your mouth yet, but you're already pushing to eat the whole damn thing. And it's an uncomfortability that comes from not good enough, right? That's the belief that drives it. So the time ebook that I mentioned to Janie will help you to bring you into the present moment, right? Looking at the belief and what drives it and what plays out will help. But the time ebook, which is part of that training package as well, what it means is that we stop getting railroaded by everything that we've got to do. Right, because you're a mother, you work, you know, I know what that's like. I mean, Mona, you got 4 kids. I've only got 2, right? You got 4, right? And the list is never ending. Right? It never ends of the stuff that we've got to do. And I'll just mute you, love. And
yeah, thank you.
And
Hi.
stop talking, trying to listen. So it's never ending, right? But what we want to do is to be able to bring ourselves back to the present moment so that we can navigate and deal with what's here rather than the head shit that comes in when we try and take on everything that needs doing for the next year and bring that into the present moment. Because that's what we do, right? Yeah, and it screws us, like Janie, especially when we're thinking about a business and we're thinking, oh my God, but I've got to do this and I've got to learn the tech and I've got to do that and I've got to do and 2 years of work comes into the present moment and we stress about it right here, right now, and then we're gone. Right, we're overwhelmed, we're stuck in, and we don't do anything. Sound familiar? Yeah. Oh my God, this was so me. And I'd be screwing myself. Yeah. So we want to be able to pull our awareness out of everything that we need to do because we will get there. It's a process, right? What's the saying? You can't run before you can walk, and it's a really simple one, but it is the truth. So that the information that's in that ebook, right? It's gold. It's just gold. And what it helps you do is okay, yeah, all that stuff needs doing, but what needs doing today? What do I need to do today? What's the bite of the freaking elephant that I need to take today? Everything else can be there. But the stress of bringing it all into the present moment is just a killer, right? And that is the secret to how I do everything that I do. And I know people go, how do you do all this stuff? You're everywhere. You're doing that. And I'm like, I'm only focused on what I'm doing today. Like tomorrow, I don't know which clients I have. I don't know who I'm seeing. I don't know what's on my calendar because I'm only focused on today. Right? Does that answer your question?
No.
Yeah, it does. Thank you. I'll probably, is this going to be dropped in the group to pick up the replay? Because I don't know, probably tried to show it a little bit refereeing.
Oh, yeah, no, that's cool. Cool. The replay of this call?
Yeah.
Yes, I will
Yeah.
put the replay of this call in the giveaway group and the main WolfPack group, and I'll also put the time ebook so that you guys can pick that up from there as well.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Because I think
Awesome.
overwhelm for me is a massive one. I think when you're trying to run a household on your own, do a business, do the laundry, sort all of the things, like it just gets like a lot, which is why I fold washing and listen to training.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
Feeling you.
Thank you. So
Yeah.
grateful. Do you want to say hello?
So glad you're here.
This is one
Hello.
of my little people.
What's your name?
Felicity.
Hi, Felicity. How's it going?
Good.
Yeah.
Awesome. All
To
right.
be
lovely.
fair, I do need to celebrate the win because there's just been a distinct shift in energy as Mum tries. Doesn't get it right all of the time because, you know, learning. But they have played so beautifully together for the bulk of the time the last 2 days. And I've commented and gone, this is just so nice. I love seeing you guys play together and share without arguing and all of the things. And then there's that. So I'm probably going to have to go soon because, you know, I got like what, nearly an hour. So that's good. So I'm
Yep.
going to love you all and catch you on the other side.
All right, lovely. So good to have you with us.
Shane dropped me. Shane's just down the road from me, Jacqueline.
Oh, that's awesome. I love it.
We might catch up and
Of course. Do it. Do it. All right, beauties. All right. So awesome. That's some awesome stuff. The overwhelm is very, very real. And not just for us as parents. You know, it happens with what we're trying to do out there in the world and just all of our constant thoughts. There's overwhelm there. Okay, so Sam, when you don't know your path and only focus on today, how can you decide where the journey goes? If that makes sense. Yeah, I get you. I get you. I've got a little story that I can share with that. So I had someone in one of my trainings, and it was a creative orientation training. And so it was the upward spiral, right? We did a lot about the downward spiral, going down into our shit, but this was the upward spiral. And he said, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. You have the vision, and then you have all of these goals, and you have all of these steps, and you have all of that, and you have all of that in place, and then you know, then you've got it, right? And I'm like, whoa, man, where's the magic in that? Yeah, where's the freaking magic in that? Because if I just go back to my car story, and you know, and I put, okay, so I'm gonna put $50 a week, and I'm gonna save, and then I'm gonna get to this milestone, and then I'm gonna get to the here, and then I'm gonna get to here, and then that's the point that I'll go down to the car yard, and then I'll, you know, and I planned it all out, right? There's no magic in that. We're talking about magic here, right? We're talking about being able to create, yeah, in a very, very different way. So we have our vision, right, Sam? We have where we want to get to. And if you don't know that, that's what we do here in this work around what is it that we would love? Yeah. Not what we think we can have, not what we might be able to get, right? Just what we would love. And we focus on that. Yeah. And in this work, we have a process that helps us discover that. And we have a set of choices that we say every day to bring that into fruition, right? To help us sit in the vision of what we would love to create. And we sit in there and we sit in there and we imagine it and we vision it, because I'll tell you what, if you can imagine it, you can create it. Right? If you're just in that downward spiral of all that other shit, then that's what you're creating. Because you're so focused on it and you're so in it. Yeah. So we connect to the vision, but then we let it go. We let go of how we're going to get there. Yeah. We let go of how it might show up, because that's the magic. I would never have seen it coming that my stepdad calls me and goes, "I'm going to gift you our car." Right? Can I explain that? No, I can't. Am I going to celebrate that and accept it? Fuck yes, I am. Right? Yeah. Yeah. So when you say, how can we decide where the journey goes? It's like, we don't know, you know, and I've described this in a couple of different ways. Someone said to me, like, it's like there's a rope that's connected to your vision, but it's all misty and you can't see where the rope's going. You're holding onto the rope, but you can't see where it's going. That's the way that they described it. The way that I described it, and this is quite a fun way, you know, like Hansel and Gretel, and they're like, you know, they're like coming through the forest and they see a breadcrumb or a gingerbread crumb, right? And they eat the bread, you know, they eat the gingerbread crumb. But they don't know what, you know, they don't know where the next one is, but they you know, they follow the next one, they see it, that it appears, and then they follow it and they follow it, right? But the whole path isn't clear yet. Because if the whole path is clear, where's that coming from? Here, right? It's coming from here, which is from our past. And this is what we do when we grab our past and we literally put it in front of us and we go, there's the path, right? There's the path to the same shit. There's the path that we've walked before. We've just grabbed it from behind us and put it in front of us because that's what we know, right? So we don't actually decide where the journey, we do. We choose where the journey goes because we choose the vision, right? We're connected to the vision. That's what we want. That's what we would love. But we're not attached to how we get there, right? And sometimes, like, I'm not going to lie to you, Sam. Sometimes I get a little piece of guidance that says, do this. And I'm like, what the fuck? That doesn't make sense, right? What? And I follow it. I follow it. And I follow it with no question. Even if it seems like it's the backwards thing to do, like going to the car yard and test driving cars when I don't have the money to buy the car. And I do it because it sends a message, a powerful message to my subconscious, to the universe, to my fucking stepfather, obviously, right? He got the message. He wouldn't have received it in the way like, it just would have occurred to him, I'm going to give my car to Jacqueline. Can I explain that? No, I can't. But this is the way that the universe works. It's energetic, right? We put out signals, we put out messages. And if we're attached to the way that it looks, that's coming from behind us. Yeah. That's why we connect to the vision, but we let go of how it shows up. Because otherwise we're trying to control it. You know, we're trying to figure it all out. We're trying to get it right. Yeah, we think we know how it should look. We think we know better, right? And the thing that thinks they know better is that fucking ego sitting on our shoulder, right? They're the one that thinks they know better, that thinks they have it right. And they're just keeping us stuck and keeping us small and out of the magic of life. It's a good question though, Sam. It's a really good question because we think we need to have it all together and we have to have all the answers, right? That's going to get us there. And being in that not needing to know space can be really uncomfortable. Yeah, like I sat in that space for 3 months waiting for that program to arrive. And when it did, I was like, woo, this is the shit. This is great. Thank you. 3 months. Jeez, it could have got here a little quicker. 5 years. 5 years. And there's tools that you can use though, right? Because I tell you what, 5 years might be a little bit more of that spiral rather than that spiral, if you get me. Sorry, I know you got a bit distracted, Sam. Yeah, because then our energy is going there rather than there, right? Yeah. Cool. Yeah, it's a good question because yeah, we're not focused on what we would love for a start. We're not connected to it, right? And this work helps us to connect with it. And then we become aware of what's getting in our way of connecting to it. Yeah, so that we can take the power out of that. We can acknowledge it. Holy shit, there's all my stuff coming up, right? Beck, you shared that so beautifully because man, it comes up and it whacks us in the face and it takes us for a ride down a familiar path. Yeah, and what we're doing with this work is becoming aware of that familiar path, because a lot of us, for most of us, it's unconscious until it's not. Until we can see it. Yeah. And then we've got to start to groove a new path so that the energy follows that path, not the old familiar one. Yeah. And it takes time and it takes commitment to pick your focus up from there and go, no, I'm not going down that old road. Yes, I know it's familiar. Yes, I know it feels good because we're so conditioned to do what feels good. Yeah, and not what makes us feel uncomfortable or all our shit's coming up. Yeah, but we learn how to shift the focus away from feeling good. Yeah. Because now when that shit comes up, I'm like, yeah, man, I'm creating, bring it on, right? Woo, it's getting sticky in here. It's, that brings me excitement now. I'm like, whoa. Yeah. And I learn, my whole body's on fire now. I learn how to hold myself in that because I've changed the definition. It's not bad anymore. Yeah. It's like, okay, there's gas in here. Yeah. 20 years of the same cycle, would talk, but got dad around. Yep. No, that's okay. All right. So maybe send me a message, Sam. 20 years of the same cycle. I had 40 years of it, man. My groove was ingrained, right? That shit was. So I hear you. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I hear you. And it can happen. It can happen faster. Yeah. We don't have to spend the next 20 fucking years trying to set a different orientation, right? Yeah. I'm 48. I spent 40 years in that groove. I'm not in that groove anymore. It didn't take me another 40, right? This is the fast route. Yeah, but you got to stay with it. Sam, you got to stay with us, with this work. Yeah. Don't fucking disappear, sister. Okay. Thanks for all your sharings. I've gotten heaps from listening and feeling space around the group and the content in the morning. Awesome. You are so welcome, beautiful Charlie. Mwah. Great to have you here. And yeah, it even if you don't bring a question, it doesn't matter, right? You sit and you're in the energy of this group and you feel, the energy of the group, but you're also getting the wisdom from these other sharings, which is powerful. Yeah. Yes, it's okay to eat ice cream. I told you that story, right? Yeah, it's just fucking ice cream, man. It's just ice cream, right? It's only bad if you make it bad. Don't be making it bad, because then you're eating the bad. Dang, it's just ice cream. As I was saying, Beck, if you eat 67 million ice creams, then okay, it's bad, right? But if you eat 67 million carrots, it's not gonna be great either, right? It's just ice cream. All right, beauties, sending you so much love. Thank you for joining the call. We will be doing the same thing in a month's time. And we also have 10 days of free training. Yeah. Some of this stuff you guys will never have heard before. even for the ones that have been roaming a while. So join the training and the giveaway. Join us for the 10 days, the 10-day sessions. They are at this same time, 11 till 12:30 every day, starting Thursday. You're going to get some incredible juice. They will be recorded if you miss one or two. If you can't make them live, they will be an incredible resource to have. Let me know if you don't have the link and you haven't signed up. I think most of you have. And we have a giveaway group which has got a stack of content in there as well, some really beautiful sharings from people, which is awesome. So there's a lot more happening in the group, right? A lot more incredible stuff. Immerse yourself in it, right? This is an awesome group of people that, as my friend Judy and client said, people that give a fuck about their relationships, right? That's who we are. That's who we are. All right, beauties. So this is how we go out of these calls. Take yourselves off mute, please do, and join me in a WolfPack yowl. I'm glad you're joining us, Lisa, for to complete the session. Let's do this thing. All right, and I will see you all soon in the groups. Let's howl it out. Mwah. Big love, everybody.
Ciao.
See you all soon. Ciao, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
See you, Beck. See you, Sam. See you, Moni. Bye, Charlie's gone. See you, Shane. Big love, everybody. Ciao, ciao.